And we are streaming. Hello everybody, welcome to Task Confusion for the 3rd of September 2021. How are we all doing today? We have 5 people currently queued up. We have 3 people currently awaiting the start. Heyo! Right then. Let's jump straight into this, shall we? We have Ubers, Avarita, Prospero, and myself for round 1. Random seats. Good luck to you all. Let's start. Three, 4, waiting for other players. Hoping we can at least continue our run of seconds. That wouldn't be too bad. I say run. 2 seconds in a row. Alright, let's start. So, starting east with south, Wandora. Okay, options. Start south. Alright, 1 sequence completed. We can look into the Dora sequence, then this is looking good for just Riichi Pinfu. I won't discard 2 in a row, but we will throw east at this point. If we happen to draw into another one, it's unfortunate, but we can live with that. Para 9s, you say? Well, let's stick with the lack of knowledge for the opponents and just keep playing 9 so's until we run out of them. But with the pair established already, it's fine. Okay, so what indicators do we have from anybody else? Probably Tarnpin from Avarita and Ubers to an extent. Yeah, so likely Tarnpins. Pair of 2s, could be dropping a pair for something. Okay, 4-pin. Let's go for an early 7-man. There's a chance that somebody wants it, and they do. So we're now Ishanten. If we draw the 3, then we have Riichi, Pinfu, Dora. Let's 2-side now, because it's going to be the more dangerous tile than 9-pin later on. And we might reach for just the 3 in this case, but... Okay, that's an improvement. So that gives us 2 options here. 2-man should be reasonably safe to discard here. And it allows us to incorporate Dora in a couple of ways. So Riichi Pinfu, Dora is what we're looking at here. 3-Han, always worth going for.
Riichi.
Okay. That's fine. We can dodge for a time being. And 2 being safe to both players is fine. Wouldn't necessarily... Middle pins seem dodgy. 9 has given us no evidence on. Two to 2. So we see 3 2s here. We also see a couple of 3s. 1's worth it for a 3-Han hand in my view, but we do have to get there. Yeah, it's a little awkward. I'm going to get rid of a 9s here. So this is basically a fold as a dealer. Not something you want to be doing, but he's had a few draws at this.
No.
And in fact, somebody else was dealing in with that anyway, so that's fine.
Riichi.
Yeah, so same value hand as mine. Obviously, I have the dealer bonus, so it was worth us attacking it. But given we'd have to play a risky middle tile, and I pegged his weight somewhere middle Pinsy being awkward. With ton pin hands, which we kind of assumed he had anyway, you can't assume anything in the middle is safe unless you've got direct discards to go off. And we didn't have that in that case, so 5 pin, 5 so would have done exactly the same thing in our position as well. Not much we can do there. One North's already been played, so we're not going to take the chance of drawing another one. And the Pro Self doesn't do anything for us either, but you could have waited. You didn't have to necessarily win with that. Not that you can hear me, but, you know, you could have chosen. Right, so dealer call for a quick hand. It's unlikely to be one suit, but could be this an early indicator of that. So maybe we're just playing our free man very early. Yeah, we'll play our free man very early. To be fair, we've got to have loose tiles that make the free man a better keep in our hand at the moment, but if we end up having to discard this, I'd rather sort that out now. So honestly, our hand is quite a way away from anything, so we're probably just going to use our 2 free safe tiles and just try and navigate the hand without any ill effects here. And leave it to other people to try and charge in, because this could easily be a Manzu Honitsu based on how his initial row has gone. He's discarded both 2 tiles around Medora. He's discarded 2 middle, well, a middle Pinzu. So again, that's kind of my assumption on this. It might not be accurate, but assume the worst and work around it where you can. He, of course, doesn't have to. It could just be a dragon-only hand as dealer for a repeat. But dealing into an obvious free Han hand is worth a lot of points as dealer, so we'll avoid that. No. As it happens, Yubas was playing Stealthy as well, with Pinfu Nomi for 1,000. An argument, he could have pushed that. Would have forced the dealer into a trickier position. But again, Riichi and Pinfu is just that. And maybe he was looking for an upgrade. I didn't actually analyze that too hard at that one, but he could have a potential upgrade pass. Okay. So second on priority. Haven't really done a lot this game, but we're in East 3. 1 dealer turn remaining, which is a little problematic, but we'll work with it. Play North. So we have 2 sequences. Don't have an established pair yet, though 9 could easily be that. 6-9 style weight here. North has a 1 Han call, and be a bit early to do any further reads into that. But we can play a safe tile anyway, just for the sake of it. We're not a million miles away from just going Riichi Pinfu here. Certainly not if we got a Dora, so yeah, 6925. 47. There's quite a lot of tiles to get us there here. So this is just going to be a case of how quick are we. Alright, 2-5 early reach against 2 calls. This seems fine. So Riichi Pinfu 1. With only terminals discarded, this makes any immediately middle tile awkward. It's also early, so it could be a closed weight on something, but Suji, which is okay. Thank you. We don't have any traps because it's just an early enough hand. It's just gonna be a case of whether we draw that Tuso, whether somebody decides to risk for Tuso, and if we can incidentally draw a 5. There's obviously also a red 5 here, so this could be Riichi Pinfu too. But I think it's early enough that we can force some at least going round or folds considerations out of people. Prospero isn't thinking that because he's dealer, so obviously if we sumo, it's the biggest hit to him. And Dora Dragon passes, so that might unleash a couple of hands here. We'll see. Nobody else playing those at the moment, so might be the first one on the board. Always a possibility that happens. But we still have 8 tiles to draw. This is still fine. But it looks as if Sozu are being avoided for the main. Again, with this kind of reach, you're expecting to draw it yourself at some point, just hoping to disrupt enough. He's played nothing but Manzi for a few turns, so I'm wondering if Prospero's trying to force a Pinzu here, or if he's genuinely trying to go around something. Currently only Urza queued up for in terms of second game, but we'll see if people turn up. We are a little early, I guess. Yuba's taking a think. He was going to risk something in the middle? Not quite. Playing 1 pin. So I assume that's Suji to the 4 and Yuba's is still trying to dodge. Prospero's been given a lot of information on that side of the vein here. Alright, so North and a Sozuko. So possibly Toy Toy. So just got what you see. I, of course, have no options in that regard, but I assume that's the call for Tempai. You always do with the second one. But that puts you in an awkward position, because now anything you discard could be awkward. And that might be Prospero folding there. Don't know. We shall see. 8 passes. I mean, I'll be a little disappointed to take the draw here because this is a reach draw of 1, but a draw state is fine. Moves me slightly closer to the dealer position. Oh, call for Tempai? It is a call for Tempai. So it is a North only. This seems an aggressive push for a 1 hand. Unless he got dragons, I don't think this is a good push. But we have another draw. Haite? Yeah, not 100% sure I'm convinced with that. Especially as you were Fura 10. So calling for a Fura 10 Tempai as well. I don't know, unless you know for certain what you got is that your last 2 tiles are going to be safe. Yeah, that's awkward. Alright, well, East 4. Dora East for the round. And this is a terrible starting hand. 5, 6, 7. Pair. We'll take a turn, but that is probably it in terms of this hand's chances. 6 and a pair is not good enough to go Kokushi on. So we're gonna. I know 2, 4, 6 is not a bad shape here, but I'm kind of invested in holding on for a turn or 2. Because our chances entirely depend on whether we draw this second East or not, I think. And having got rid of that middle tile, we'll get rid of a second. And then after that, I guess we're just playing out. Shame, I really wanted to try and fight for that reach stick back. Again, fair. As long as you know you're absolutely safe, there's no harm in that. It's just, I suppose also there were enough tiles out for making sure of that. But hey. Alright, early reach from the west seat. Which again isn't the worst thing in the world for us. We have multiple safe tiles here. We don't have a hand that's anywhere near getting to anything, so it's just going to be a case of avoiding. And having got rid of a middle sequence and something that would help advance the hand faster, yeah, not the greatest of things by a long shot. Still, pair ourselves. And Crossbow deals in. Depressingly, this puts us down as third, having done not a lot. We've picked up a draw state, and we put a reach stick down to be exactly where we started. And all the points have gone against Prospero thus far. This is an okay looking hand. Dragon starts. So potential shenanigans around this pair sequence. Play the 9 first. So draw some middle pinsy tiles. That'll do. That is a middle pinsy tile. And then it's just a case of which one of these do we end up getting rid of. Almost certainly a 1-2 at this point, so we might be preempting that move. That is fine. Could either be kept that and played the 5 pin, but we also do now have 3 pairs, so the other side of the coin is we try and force us into a Tanya, but with the Dora 9 being there, probably not what we're going to end up doing. That's a possibility. It's kind of a 9, but it doesn't matter in this particular case. 7 improves the hand, not much else does. From particularly that single tile perspective anyway. Pair of 8s. I'm disappointed at the amount of pairs I'm drawing here. I might not be if it continues, but still. Alright, Yuba's going greedy. Can work with that. We've got additional stuff, so... Alright, everyone going a little greedy here. If we can make the 9 pass, we could actually potentially go for a Tanya attack here. So, I'm counter-greeding at this stage, but I'm dealer. I'm entitled. Alright, Toy Story 3. But, Ishanten. Aggressive? Yes, but with a Khan on the board and us as dealer, we really do not want to be giving up Khan points, which would have happened somewhere. Alright, Ton and stuff. And Dora. North to start. Didn't get the immediate free draw. Oh, North reset would not be what we want right now. Thank you, Prospero. Alright, so we have Ton, Dora at the moment. And could do with drawing a 7-man or 2. Drawing a 6 wouldn't be the worst thing for us either, actually, because that would allow us to go to the give guess Toy as an option. Okay. There's plenty of aggressive calling going on here. I assume Tanyo won. And aggressive calling Tanyo 1 to be dealer is absolutely fine in most cases. Yeah, okay, we know what we're up against here. Makes White Dragon a little awkward, but we can work around this.
G.
Currently, Urza and Demo queued up. Still waiting on a couple more. Now, that's got potential to backfire if we draw a 7 here, but I feel that... Yeah. Yeah, we could have probably played dragons against this. So we know that's a dragon on the left, or at least a bonus tile of some sort. We've got east, so norths are out. Honestly, the only thing you can have is a red. So the question is, do you have the red, or are you waiting for red? Because if you're waiting for red, that's aggressive. If you're not... Because the thing is here, the Tanyo is much more flexible in terms of what it can need. As well, so I'm thinking that this is a losing battle if that's the direct conflict here. Dora discarded, and it passes, so keep a close eye on what other people are doing here, because this might be an opportunity for us to get rid of it. Against 4 calls, we have to be extremely cautious, even as dealer. There's the reach. And a stick was given away, so it was South, actually. Yeah, I don't agree with that. You didn't have it secured, so... But, again, in the lead, 44 to go. I'm not too upset with that, in all honesty, because it was a cheap hand. I lost the bare minimum as dealer. Still above the 30k threshold, so... I can still effectively win this by doing that a lot. So, 6, 7, 8 Sand Cube is a possibility here, though far more likely we're going to have the 7s as our pair and just move on from that. But, something to consider. Especially if we can pair the Wests up. Alright. Alright, let's see. If we draw a 6, we're going to have to go for the Sand Cube. But a turn 2, discarding the non-bonus tile is probably fine. 9, not helpful. Not even really helpful as an play extender here. We want to pair one of these two up, or one of these two up, preferably. And then that'll allow us to go for the Sand Cube. Alright, pawn against us. Triplet of the 7s. That's actually not the worst. That we can work with. So this allows us to have the Sand Cube open here. If we complete 2-5, we have Riichi Sand Cube Pinfu. But also we have the possibility to win on other things. So we'll play the middle tile because it's the most risky. We can also open call this if we want to, but we lose a bit of value doing that. Mind you, Pinfu Sand Cube is free hand anyway. Maybe that's worth it. Open Sand Cube only? Not really. Which is why we're going to pass that 5 so for the moment. There's got to be a tempo indicator though as well. Okay, I have Rita deciding the challenge. It's a reasonable chance it'll pass as well. Suji, they played a 9 earlier and an 8, 7. It's unlikely they're waiting on 8s, but they could be. Also, if it is Toy, we have a pair of them. Alright. Didn't do it the first time round, we will take it the second time round. So we have a Sanchiku Tanyo. to just nab a win. Okay. So this is one of those decisions that happens and not much we can do about this. This is cowardice, but it is also the only decision we can make here, which is a shame because before this was a go. But against 4 calls and 2 Dora, we can't play the White Dragon. The triplet of the 7s is very useful for us in terms of information because loads of 8s and 9s have also been played. So, fortunately, not a lot of 6s, as you would expect from this. We're also not dealer, which is an important point to make at times. If you're not the dealer, you lose a lot less by somebody else picking a big sumo up. And by Karning, the leader has put more risk on the board. Sumo'd it, so they got away with it, but that was West only. Also managed to getting rid of that early. Again, it worked. I did the right thing, ultimately. Both with the call and with the fold, I think. Because we also had these two to worry about. Alright, Prospero dealer turn. Needing a comeback. We have a pair of bonus wind here. We're a Mongan gap down at this point. With no dealer turns left. So, things to be considered here. So, we're Tempai for West only at the moment. Not going to calm. Karning doesn't help us in this position particularly. Going all in on the Green Dragon might, though. So Riichi. This is definite Mungan if this pays off. The only upgrade is basically a 3-6 swap, which is unlikely. Yeah, I think we take this. I don't see a reason not to. It's Mungan, so 8,000 points. That cuts the gap in half. Secures a second. It also means that basically this could stall other people's hands off if they draw a green. And if we get the direction off Yuba's, then that's just overtake. And Yuba's is attacking. He played a Forso after our reach from here, so nothing indicating safety. Prospero kind of going for things, but I understand it from his perspective. He's in last. We just got a whole sequence of Sozu. 9-6. But any chance of somebody trying to get rid of Green Dragon to follow me is eroded. With the possible exception, as mentioned, of Prospero. He might have to play it. Which, admittingly, if I'm going purely for the top position, it's not in my interest to win off Prospero, particularly. Though I would only win 8,000 points short of getting Ura. But at the same time, second place is fine here. Long pause on the 6-man, somebody's thinking. It was Prospero. So, 1 Dora. Plays the south, which passes. I mean, I'm going for the second scenario. Yuba's giving points to Prospero. Well, this is if we wouldn't have drawn that 6 to improve the hand, so this was fine. Also occurs to me that it's not a Mangan if I get the direct hit from somebody, but I'm thinking Sumo here, so Reach West, Dora Dora. Actually, no, Reach West, Dora Dora, Sumo would, yeah, 5 or 4 from somebody else, but I got a triplet, so yeah, no, absolutely ignore me. Ignore me, I know what I'm talking about, I think. Alright, late game. Who's going to play a Hatsu to stay in Senpai? Again, Prospero might have to. Yuba shouldn't, but... There's also a scenario that somebody else just has a triplet of these and got them really early. Or just got them naturally as it goes. Prospero's played free, so free man, so I assume he's out, but... Well, that's an extremely lucky case of draws, but I didn't check. Obviously, I've already reached, so I'm not really tracking where tiles are coming from people. He might have had a really unlucky string of draws.
Tenpai.
Yep, 2-player Tenpai. Gives me a semi-secure... No, 1 repeat, so technically no, and 1,000 points on there as well. So I was about to say I'm safe to Mangan, but I'm actually not from that, so we'll see. Anyway, let's see what we can do from here, because if I Mangan now, that's 8 minus 4. No, that's not enough. Okay, so I do need to Hanneman with this in order to have a shot at actually winning, but direct hits are always a thing. Direct hits could happen. And our hand is actually really close. We're actually Ishanten for Reach, Pintu. If I draw that 7, it's Reach, Pintu, Ipeiko, Pinfu, essentially. Question is, can we draw a 7-man? Because that is the way round we would prefer. Or we could go multi-pairs on this, but... Actually, this is better. Yeah. We know we're going to have Pinfu from this regardless, so let's go for the 4-7 here. So Reach, Pinfu, Ipeiko, Sumo. It's unlikely. I'm wishing we got pairs now as well. Again, we're playing our CGs here to minimize information. But come on, 9-man.
Riichi.
Right, Reach, Pinfu, Ipeiko. Free hand for the win. I mean, Ipatsu Mangan would be, I think, turnaround. Ah. I mean, to be fair, my discards are kind of highlighting that 4-7 is the worst thing you can play against me here, but... Alright, counter reach. So, 4-7 versus unknown. Playing Adora into an Ipatsu, that would have been the worst, I think, but... I mean, it's 3,100 on the board here. This isn't impossible that I can take the win here if Yubas deals in. Well, of course, take it from whoever to secure second, but... Sumo. Reach, Sumo, Pinfu. We hit some Ura. Have we hit 2? Because I think that might give us some Hanneman. Hanneman, I think that's enough. Yeah, Hanneman. Reach 6. Yak 10. Upset. Victory. Yeah, that's a weird one, I think, in terms of games, but
やっと私を見てくれました
apparently
ね
played that well enough. Might have to go back and do some quick checks on that hand. Anyway, we have some people in things. So we have Urza, Demo, and Mono, who are queued up randomly from the previous things. Hello to all three of you. Why have you not been saying hello in chat? I'm fairly certain we made that a rule at some point. And one more. Currently Prospero, but if somebody else wants to jump in, I'll do a roll-off for it. Yep, we always have room. In fact, Kanzi, you will get priority over Prospero, at least for the initial thing. I'll do some analysis. If we have enough for 2 tables, actually what I will probably do is just shuffle the tables up rather than do this. So let's just review. So including myself, we have 6. We have 9 people on the lobby at the moment, but only 5 currently queued. 6. Okay, one more and we can have a couple of tables up and I'll do some shuffling. And remind myself that I need to go and analyze some of that last game. Have mercy. Never. Avarita, you're not playing again, or are you just Yep, we could do with one more because that gives us 2 tables and I can then shuffle things up. And do probably an odds versus evens. Yes, mercy, please. Okay, so odds versus evens. So game 1 is going to be Demo, Prospero, Ubers, Avarita. So good luck to you 4. And the other game is going to be Urza, Mono, Ziskamling, and myself. Alright, good luck. Yeah, I mean, I would like to have done some analysis in all honesty, and I was happy to wait 5 minutes and do some quick banter on the last hand, but if we've only got 8, which is what we look like we have at the moment, then I can't put myself out of it, other than start delaying things. 7's the worst number. 8's a good number. Alright, good luck. Also, Urza's really good at this, from what I remember. Mono pretends to be a noob. And Ziskamling, no idea. Alright, so we're starting west. Urza is the opening dealer. Ziskamling's there. We have 1 Dora and a reasonable starting hand. Probably going to play west since 3 of them, and I don't mind a repeat. Mono, are we having a repeat? Fair enough. To be fair, this was actually a good hand, but, you know. Those are the risks. I probably shouldn't have played west in all honesty, but I didn't have anything else that was unusual. What are the chances anyway? I also have a north here, so... I'm wondering if that was slightly protective. We'll see. Anyway, I've upgraded to 2 Dora. My hand's slightly worse in a vacuum, but 2 Dora. Good draw. Okay. So we're hoping to get a pair of 9s here, but overall this is looking like a good hand here. 2 from Tenpai. Both North and White should be relatively safe for the last couple of discards. Another 9 so would be amazing. We can also discard the Nora 9 quite easily here if we pair up one of the other 2. Two-pin. Not ideal, but carry on. Essentially puts us into this pairway. Yeah, holding up one more turn of Medora might be dangerous, but I think it should be relatively fine here. Alright, Dora. Because I don't want to get into a position where we have to worry about that. Mono probably in a similar position, decides to get rid of his isolated Dora as well, I would imagine. Alright, Urza with the Dragon Dealer call. Oh wow, the other game's gone a bit strange. Hey, Chi-Toy. Oh dear. Rinchan versus Chi-Hoi. I mean, we had a four wins reset on the initial discards, so there have been some strange ones here. Alright, so 2 calls. Western only thing. Could be a Pinzu Honitsu. That's what we've got to consider with this. This is not great. Because I don't have a lot that works against this discard pattern at the moment. North should be safe. Alright, Mono's going for it. So how do you aware of that? Tuso being safe is a godsend for me. Fair least. Yeah, I think we're out, depressingly. Because I've run out of safe tiles and I'm too far away from things. And well, I think that should be fine. I have no conviction of that. So we're going to play a 4-5 pin and hope. Because we can't sleepwalk into an Urza thing as well. That's the other thing we can't afford to do. But we've avoided, and there will be a draw state unless there is a Kaito. Okay. So wrong person to worry about, but good thing is we did not decide to green was safe. Pair weight, and the initial strike goes against us. Alright, Urza with first turn call. So potentially some speed hands going on then. Can't do anything with that 9 pin. Okay, might as well get rid of the other side of that for the moment. So potentially we could, if we draw a 1, we could potentially walk this down into Sanchiku. Pin through Sanchiku something. I think if we do draw a 1, we'll take that chance, but in the meantime... we're up against double Yakuhai. Pair of 9s, you say? Alright, that means free calls, which is annoying. Alright, let's cut our 9s here. Cut one of our pairs and see if we can extend in the other direction. Part of the problem is I've now got a 5 so that I can't discard. And I'm up against 6 calls. Thankfully it's not my dealer turn, because this is what's a really stressful position as dealer. So Town Pin on the left, having discarded Dora, must be close. We know they are because they've had 2 calls. I think from up there, we can play up 4th north here. They're always safer tiles, but I have a feeling somebody's about to deal into somebody. And I just got to make sure it's not me.
つもごめんなさいね。
Oh, that's correct. I couldn't play the 5 save. Alright, so Urza with a 2,000 point hand. So this is what I would consider a 30k game. So first Mungan will take the initiative in the hand. This is ridiculous. And unfortunately, it's deceptively ridiculous. North to start. Didn't get the free redraw. So we will call everything we can with this hand. But if we don't get fortunate early, this is going to be a slow one. That is what we consider a fortunate start. So step 1, done. Need that white, really. I don't want to be in a position where we have to worry about that, but... Another 7. Okay, can work with that. Pairs is fine. We could definitely do pairs with this as well as a backup. Chitoy, Dora Dora, absolutely fine. Sanchiku, Dora Dora, would also work.
ポンです。
No way we can't take that in this position. We're going to be in a pair weight on this some way or another. So let's see. It gives us the maximum chance of doing something shenanigan-y. And 5-8 is still available. Yeah, so double pause there does give information, but different shades of it. Does Urza have that as well? Let's hope not. Oh, I'm hoping Siskami is going to risk a Dora here.
リーチ
Nope. South played. I mean, we got Dora free here, so... Even from here, we have to risk it. So, white 2. Again, annoying to have to go into the pair weight here, but you have to play safe. Suji. Tetons, so should be fine. I mean, nobody should risk a Dora this late. 6-0 isn't impossible, but really, we're just hoping to draw this. There are no Dora out. Somebody's got them. Nine, 6. I was about to say, that'd be a really annoying deal in. We have the Haite, so... Jackpot winner? Not quite. But we did have white Dora 2, potentially Dora 3. And the game is equalized. This is a good game. Dealer turn then. Double Dora. 1 East in hand. We get a really early Tanyo 2. This would be lovely. Pair established as well. We are Ishanten for Tanyo 2. Friso, please. deny us a draw, will you, Mono? We'll take the Ipeiko side of this as well. Ipeiko Dora 2. Tanya. No, not giving us anything. Good draw. So now Pinfu's added to the equation. That's able to take an open 2. But he steals it, and honestly, this is still, unfortunately, a tight game. Killing a big hand there. Door north. Fortunately, it's going to be a safe tile for me later. But we're not going to be able to do a lot with it. 1 pin. Yeah, this is awkward, unfortunately. A couple of whites, though, so we can work around that. Just have a bunch of closed weights to try and fill in. Okay, there's one. Slightly more awkward side of things here because we do want to use that fight Dora 5. And now we can. Pair of 5s. So Ishanten. Nope, sorry, two away. Still only 2, but if we can get the white dragon, we can call things. And if we can draw a 7 pin, then our hand is pretty much away. I think that's as long as we can hold that and be reasonably assured of anything. So half improvement. Door of 2. But eating that white dragon at the moment. I see. Well, thankfully North isn't doing anything for us. Or against us, actually, come to that. Gonna play 8 pin on the basis we see one. And it hasn't actually changed an awful lot here, but we are very dependent on getting that white dragon. White dragon changes the complexion of this hand here. Well, incidental pair weight, and Mono takes the first strike and is above the 30k threshold with that, and has a dealer repeat to boot. We are sitting second. Mahjong gap from first to last, basically, but this is how close games go. But I won't. 30k threshold is broken. So, Magic Christmas Land here says Pinfu Sanchku, multi-Dora. Pinfu Sanchku multi-Dora is a thing. Getting rid of a 9-8 on this side. 7's still a loose tile, technically speaking, but I'm just going to help our Pinfu side a bit more. And with 2 Dora, I'm happy to call this 4 if it comes off. That actually isn't the worst. Potentially puts us into a double run, which isn't ideal, but it's not the worst. And we can still always play 2-7 if we need to. So need a pair, so that's 2 thing established. 6 would be a good draw. 2, not so much. Ubers, why? No idea. Not a game we're watching, but yeah. Also, apparently I'm live. Who knew? Okay, options. Again, most likely we're going to be in a 2-5 pair weight at the end. Showing a 6 feels ideal,
リーチです。
but not anymore. We have unfortunately timed out. For Hatsu and 2, this feels like it might be worth it. But yeah, we've been gifted 2 safe tiles. I've got to use them. And just hope, above all else, that I can somehow sneak a way in. Well, maybe. We're kind of back to where we were again, with the free pin being the decisive factor. A free pin coming out of Urza right now would be awesome. You ask for it, and occasionally you get it. Tenpai, or Ishanten. Oh, we backdoored our way to a winning hand. Fight 6-9. Safe tile as well to the dealer for Hatsu 2. That was fortunate, but not bad. You've got to take these opportunities when they come up. And that puts us into the lead, and we're back into a sub 30k game. Oh, this is a good match thus far as we enter South. Double Dora. Not the greatest. Why? I have 2 Dora, so this isn't actually the worst for us, but I was feeling quite good about my hand up until then, but okay. So, against the early Riichi, you assume they're on something awkward, and the best thing to do is play your game, play safe what you can, but ultimately you're planning on winning, because clearly they've reached my bad weight. We have free Dora, so we have this advantage going for us here. We know where a lot of the value is, and we've got it. So let's see. Can we take this? I don't think we can, depressingly. I would have loved to, because, again, hand advancement, and one of the best things you can do against early Riichi is start rapidly developing the hand, but it's just not currently on. Oh, we have 2 live tiles we have to get rid of to get there at this point. But free Dora! Free! How can you not go for this with free Dora? Winning a free Dora hand at this point is probably game winning. Start of a South round. First risky tar from Mono. Is he going to have to play a lone dragon? Yep, which is good, because that's what I wanted to do. Does mean that Mono's got a hand. Had a lot of pairs there, but I feel this is still the better way to play this. Yeah, it's late in the day for us to do anything here. Is it a red dragon? I reckon it could be a red dragon. Single weight or something. There's plenty of things it could be, in all honesty, but it's some form of silly single weight now. Can be reasonably certain about that. Oh, double red. Can we actually get Tempai? 7 can't be played. 3 can. I mean, a free 6-pin here now puts us pretty close. 1 draw to go. Oh, we have Tempai if we can get a call. But there's so few things we can call. And now we can't call anything because you can only call for a win on the last discard, which is a shame because we could have called for Tempai. How are we the only person not there? Ah, that feels terrible. I know it was a random single weight. All 3 of them were on random single weights, but that feels abysmal in a game this tight. To go into a 3-player no draw. We're still in second, and still quite a strong second actually, but you know. Okay, well, South 1 repeat. My 2 cats cuddling in the corner over there. Alright, stolen card. It's giving me 1 Dora. There's also a card from the lead from Mono, so he's got to be... Well, actually, this is Mono. He doesn't have to be, but, you know. Typically, high-level players, you want to consider that, you know, you're adding value to the table. It's only good if you are Tempai or Ishanten or something. And calling on an external 9, having cut both of those, it could be a weird Shanta-style hand. Or just bonus only. Oh, dear. Could be Toy Story. Could be anything, actually. Well, we'll aim Tarnpin, and we'll see if we can work around it from there. Sometimes you just press the shiny button. Occasionally you do. Okay, so we know it's Chanter. Possibly waiting on the red, so we're going to have to discard middle tiles now to avoid him. Outside Dora 1. So, 30k game has been broken. Yeah, it's just a case of catching him up. Let's go Dragon to start with here. Alright, not the worst for us. We didn't need to follow it with white. We don't particularly want to necessarily try and force this one, but... But again, sometimes it's worth knowing where the early dragons are. Triplet of the 7s, you say.
Chi.
Well, Urza might be counter-attacking with the same hand in the moment. One South has been played by Mono, so we can probably afford to do the same here. We're actually looking for Toy Toy at the moment. I'm going to take a Khan, though. Or even a Pawn with this. I'm just going to develop and see. Yeah, outside hand. So,
Chi.
full process suddenly goes into reverse here, and we start playing 6-man. To be fair, not the best of tiles, because that could still be Pinfu side of things if you've got, say, a 7-8. But at this stage, yeah, playing middle tiles.
Chi.
And see, then that sort of thing happens.
それ論で
But I'm happy to deal into a Tanyo 2, I say. Not realising there were 2 door over that, but such things have to happen. Yeah, that was not good. I'm going to say that now, actually. Counter-attacking, you're thinking. But we had to worry about the top hand. Should have probably been a little more concerned about what the dealer was up to. Alright, Tanpin, Ipeiko, I guess. Need to pair up a 7th for the Tanya side of it, but that's what we'll go for. Okay.
あ、それポン
Okay, 7. So if we draw a west, we've got the Pinfu Dora 1 with the possible Ipeiko. Not yet. I mean, we can win off a 3-man anyway, but...
リーチです
There we go, 3-6.
あ、それポン
No Patsu for me, but we'll have a Ipeiko. Sorry, we'll have a Sumo. That's fine. So we put the thread up. We got 1 Dora. Let's see. Oh, and we've hit Ura. Well, 1 Ura, so Mangan. And we've reached 6, that puts us back into the game. So, dealer turn. 5,000 behind Mono. South 3. North to begin. So going back around the order, and thankfully Mono has played south for us, so we didn't have to take the first strike with that. But he is 1 call further down the line, and he needs a quick hand to try and secure his victory here. We will be, of course, trying to disrupt that. 2 safe tiles to discard against him, though, which is nice. If it comes to a selection of which one of these we go for, we still probably keep this side of it, because 6-6-6-6, pair of 6s and a 6-7 is much better than a 1-2.
あ、それポン
Alright, so Scarlin goes for that. We're going to get rid of our, as aforementioned, 2-1. Technically a little early because we could still play the 2-pin, but we know that's also safe to Mono. Not that Mono's our only concern, but he is a big one with 2 calls. He doesn't have it, though. Yep, there's a exactly correct decision. He doesn't have it. Okay, this is a reach-only hand, but we are enchanted for it now. Got a free man, we're in. Yeah, we're not taking that. Because we can play 6 and we can incorporate. So.
Riichi desu.
There we go. Reach Tanyo, Dora. Waiting on the free man. No Manzi played. I'm hoping for the draw state more than anything else, if I'm honest. But Mono has 2 dragon calls. Is his hand 2 dragons? And is that it? Possibly. I don't know why you were anxious about the white dragon. Why would we be waiting on the sole white dragon in this position, given the choice? Yeah, we don't believe Mono's folded. I believe he's in a Manzi weight of some kind, but we do not believe that he is folded. Yep, no Fated Sanzo for me. Dora 5-man, though. So, I think that's a risk from Mono based on Suji. Doesn't mean, though, that if I discard a 6 and it passes, then there's a chance that'll work.
Non desu.
Reach Tanyo 1. But 77 as dealer is enough to take the lead. So, Gyakuten achieves. If we can hit Urza for Mungan, we do win the game, which is worth considering at this point. Also, that Mono has a dealer turn left to go and is 27 only behind. So, and he's doing an off call again. So, Sozu Honitsu, has he gone that early for it? Does Urza have points? I've won my last game as well. This is 2 in a row. Well, I haven't won this one, actually, in fairness. But and I did deal into a Mungan that I really shouldn't have done. But we ignored that such things. That is a terrible draw for us right now. I'm just going to have to hope that Mono and Urza are speeding into each other and there's some kind of collision. Or we can get a second white dragon. That solves things as well. Yeah, that's a good draw. I'm not especially, I've got to be honest. But yeah, 1 does nothing. So Mono leaning in on that Sozu Honitsu plan. Or that Sozu Honitsu bluff, depending on what he's actually got. What are you talking about? I had 2 seconds last time I was playing. That's fine. Worry about your own form. Right, in that case, we open that up. Because now we have a pair. I mean, potentially a problem coming up, but, you know, the only potential problem is if we draw the third, and that is a problem I can live with at this point. Nice. Ishanten. Oh, do we take the Sanshikyu? How many T's are left? All of them.
1位です
Yeah, we take the Sanshikyu here. For a 10. Watch this backfire on me. Does the call not break the for a 10? It's until I change, of course, so. Actually, we don't want to take calls off just because. But Mon is overcalling. We know he's on a Sozi Honitsu anyway, or we assume he's on a Sozi Honitsu. North's fine. With 2 whites in our hand, there's a greater chance that somebody's going to get stuck with 1 and have to be in that kind of weight, so.
妻です
There we go. Sanshikyu Doradora. 6,000 plus 1. Okay then, what are we looking at this time? More Dora Dragons. We're not going to discard it though, because we really don't want to... Yeah. Hi there. Yeah, I guess. I don't want to discard Dora Dragon on this board because I don't want to give Mono a chance at coming back, or actually discarding as a less of it, but might play our dragons now. Also, interesting shape. I guess we just got to get ourselves in a position where we're winning on the green dragon pair. Okay. I mean, Shanghai could be considered the real, but, you know, I'm not going to get into that debate. This is the one I play, generally speaking. Alright, we'll get rid of our last 6 here. That is fine! Many people have come here confused about how to play Mahjong, and a few of them have even tried to learn it. Myself possibly improved it, included in that lot, but who knows. Alright, let's keep on the... Yeah, exactly. Do you want to learn? I'm probably not the best person to learn from in terms of a teaching environment from me just playing games, but if you're aware of the basics, I can usually help pick people up from that. So if I draw a free pin anyway, I could probably get rid of the 4 and just continue it on with that. So run sequence. If I draw another 4, that's 2 triplets, which is what we want, given that we want to be on the green dragon weight only. So, okay. I guess that answers that question. About to say carry on with the plan until something happens, but something just happened. I don't want to deal into a Mangan here with the point gaps at the moment, but... We're probably just going to end up folding out, just throwing the other 2 man, but we'll see. But Mono's considering the 7 pin quite hard. Goes for it. So risky, or at least he thinks there's going to be an element of risk later. Risky East Shanten, we would guess. East is fine. Should probably have had calls turned off, but we'll go 4 for the moment. Yeah, we're not doing anything further.
Riichi です。ロン。
I decided to. That helps me out a great deal. I can't win the game out of nowhere, but also, you know, my closest rival and the person who has a dealer turn left dealing into a Hanneman. Alright, that's pretty ideal. Alright, we just got to coast through the last game then. And a pair of reds means we can potentially try and push this. Hand's not amazing for just calling red dragon only, but well, it could eventually develop here. We'll see. And that's not a lot of help. I mean, there is something to be said for consistency, but working out why you've lost is another important factor, and sometimes learning that it was completely out of your control a lot of the times as well. There are very good decisions you can make in a game of Mahjong, which are losing decisions, unfortunately. I mean, just in terms of a value perspective, if you deal into a free Han hand when you have a Mungan, you are you're technically correct to be going for your Mungan over the free Han. I think that's because I was involved in both of those, and I was considering doing that, but I was definitely involved in the game today, which I was interested in, because a few questionable things were happening. So I'm going to probably review that one. I don't know when I'll have time to, but I'll probably find some time to do that at some stage. Also, this is really bad for going for what I need to, which is stopping Mono having an endless repeat streak. I can't call. Yeah, I mean, I was going to do some review on that last game, but then we immediately had 8 players, so we had to suddenly go into a game because I couldn't cut myself out of it. Well, this is continuing. Yeah, honestly, this hand is nowhere, so we're just going to have to hope that somebody else has got something. Could play White Dragon and hope, but there's always a chance that ends up being monos, just because of the way this works. Oh, fine. White Dragon. Nope. Well, at least being safe gives us another discard, but really, we're nowhere in this hand at the moment with 8 to go. Yeah, I'm not even going to take it. Our hand is just too slow, and has been for the whole game. It wasn't actually a bad hand, in fairness, and I'm kind of half regretting playing the 8 over another honor tile, but such is the game of Mahjong occasionally. I think the side game's finished because Demo's out of it, so yeah, that one ended while this was going on. So currently we have Demo, Chiral, and Yubas queued up for another game, so if we get one more... Yep, if we have one more, I'll do that, and I'll do a bit of analysis, either on the previous game, or I'll do it on the game currently in progress. We can play another white here. Who wants it? Nope, nobody. Yeah, so we're not doing anything with this one unless we get very incidentally lucky drawing 5 middle tile, but... And again, there's an argument I could have called that, especially... I mean, now I've got 2 doors that I don't need particularly, but again, nobody else has them. So that increases the chance of this game going on a bit more. Oh, Prospero just queued up as well, so we are back down to 3 with you leaving, but no worries. Yeah, food is important, don't worry too much. I don't know how many more games we'll get in today, but as I say, I'm not actually going to be here next week, so this might be... Yeah, you're allowed to jump in. Go for it. As I say, this game's about to end, so I imagine we're going to have a bit of queue jumping anyway. What can I discard here? Yeah, like free, so why not?
脳天
Alright, well, we kind of assumed there was Tenpais going on. So, 20k is gap. So, Mono needs Dealer Hanneman plus repeat. Not quite enough. So, you need something ridiculous. And this is a much better hand in terms of trying to get a quick win. So, keep South North on the outside chance we can get a Yakuhai. And we'll play South next. Sounds like a thing. Nice. I actually reinstalled MTGO recently just because I've realized that I actually have a reasonable collection of old cards on there, so I've been slowly building up commander decks. I was doing this kind of previously about a year ago as well, because from Card Hoarder you can rent 5 ticks worth of cards, which actually is enough to build a surprising number of commander decks, especially given the MTGO economy is quite weird in many ways. So we're having quite a lot of fun sort of alternating between those, but hey. I was like, the MTGO, it's obviously you've restricted to 5 ticks, and actually, given, as I said, the economy's crashed because of other things. Penny Dreadful as well. Yeah, Penny Dreadful is awesome format to try and get into. My brother was playing me a few games on that. Unfortunately, I always ended up overspending on things. Somehow. But yeah, that's what I built most of my commander decks out of. Old Penny Dreadful stuff. Yeah, we'll play that for the moment. This gives us the maximum chance of going into just Pinfu. So, 4-so, 6-so, please. No, Hatsu is fine though. Fair. Alright, we have 5 people queued up, but I know we're about to end this game, so I will start the games off once this is done. Let's risk this. We'll stay Shanton. Come on, 6-so, 4-so. Seven. Okay. Yeah, 7 man from hand. Come on. 4-so. 6-so. There we go. Right. Let's go. Pinfu. 5-8. For the win. No sense in putting 1,000 points on the board. No sense in giving information away. Mono has a call and has Dora. His hand looks pretty awkward if he's had to make that call, though. South is safe. Well, let's see. Just had a stream error, you say. Is that the same for everybody else, or...? Alright, victory is mine! Pinfu won, and we have picked up our second win of the day. Okay, good to know. Alright, so plus 48. Urza did apparently not a lot today. But picked up second. Alright. So, I'm basically going to take a step out of this one, but if people want to queue up, I will try and shuffle the tables around a little bit. Hellion, Lily, and Chiral are new, so they will definitely get in regardless of anything. But obviously, if I have multiple tables, I will shuffle things up accordingly. So currently we are looking at 7 people. Again, I'll jump in if I have to, but I'd rather do some analysis on a couple of things because I've been asked to. They're going to make me play a third game and basically undo my progress. You're going to make me undo my progress, aren't you, people? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. I'm going to have to join for an 8th player. Alright, so Mono, Urza, and myself were in the same game last time, so we're going to have to shuffle this up a little bit. So, let's see. Alright, I'll join. So, what if you win 3 times? Seems unlikely, but let's find out. Alright, so how's odds versus evens at the moment? That's Demo, Prospero, Lily, and Mono versus... Oh no, we have Siskamling joining us as well. Okay, so I don't have to join. Perfect, thank you very much. Still, let's shuffle up some people. Let's put Chiral, Hellion, Urza, and Siskamling as one game. So, Chiral versus Hellion, Urza, and Siskamling, which is odds versus evens, as I tend to do it if I've got no other option on this. So, game start. And the other game, Demo, Prospero, Lily, Mono, good luck. Meanwhile, I'm going to go back to the log and do a little bit of quick analysis on the first game. I might do some formal analysis on this one, but we'll see how it goes. As I say, I'm only going to be quick, and then I'm going to observe one of the 2 games. We'll decide which in a couple of moments. But, yeah. So I had a fairly quiet start to this game from what I remember. Yep, things are open. Let's just have a look through what various hands that happened here. So this is Prospero dealing into Ubers. So let's quickly go to critical moments here. Again, I'm really only going to be looking at sort of the dealings and the sort of lead up to this. So currently we have, if we go back a few turns, Ubers with a Riichi from the 2 pins. So this is Riichi, 2 Dora. Absolutely no problems with this. North seat. It's not Pinfu, obviously, so it is just Riichi and 2 Dora. Possibly Peiko if the 7 comes up. And yeah, okay, now I can sort of see how this is going here. So from this, you'll see me sort of falling out around it, in all honesty, because I'm not quite close enough with that one. Prospero does have 2 Dora of his own, so this is why Prospero deals in. And it's why I say that sometimes the game can just be against you with this. Because, absolutely. I'm not necessarily agreeing with a triplet of the 4s, but if you're going to do that... See, I think the hand was good enough to go for this, in all honesty. And I'd probably have risked the 7 for a deal in rather than the 4, given this particular hand at this stage. But, yeah. No, I can fully understand that one. Again, you have a couple of Dora. You have Tanyo. You got options. Alright, Ace 2. So this is a 1,000 point deal-in. And normally the 1,000 point deal-ins are not really worth worrying too much about. Prospero dealing into Yubas. So let's just see what happened here. So Yuba did a call for Tenpai. How many turns ago was this? Was that not a win? Did you mean to... Okay. So this is absolutely correct to play this concealed. You've got Dora free, and you're in a winning position, and you can win on anybody. This is a perfect stealth hand, especially since you got it really early. One man is extremely likely. That is an amazing hand you've thrown away, unfortunately. Oh, jeez. Yeah. And what's going to happen here is, because you've called, you now have to just break up your hand somehow. And given everything, I'd played the 1 over that, in all honesty, because you can then change it to any other single weight to get there. You can potentially extend the Pinzu line as well if you draw a 2 or a 6. For a 10-2-5 isn't the worst, admittingly, but yeah, ouch. Okay, so that was the mistake there. I was about to say, I don't normally look into 1,000 point hands for sort of dealing mistakes because that sort of thing happens. I guess the only question from this perspective is that. How long were you in Tenpai for? Ubers. I should probably have checked that bit out, the information out. Should you have reached to try and chase off? There's only really the 1 early dragon call for you to worry about. No way for you to know, of course. Fedora on that one. And yeah, you had just hit Tenpai. So... I mean, what were you looking for? Were you trying to be greedy and go for an Itsu, I guess? Yeah, I mean, there are upgrades available, but I think at this point, with you in the lead as well, it's probably a good idea to have reached through this. You've got a 2-sided weight. It's on an edge tile as well. All the routes are still available as far as you know. It doesn't feel like a bad idea to do this, because it also puts the player who called under a little bit of pressure, because now they have to work around it. So, yeah, I mean, the Itsu upgrade is potentially there, but it's not one you really want to be fighting for a lot of the time. Still, 1,000 points is 1,000 points. Draw state is a thing. Let's see how this hand goes into. So, Avarisa is about to deal into somebody. So, let's move on. So, this is a kind of quick hand here. Let's just... Okay. So, reaching here. Reach on... Reach Dora 1 only. So 4-7's not usually a lucky thing to be waiting on in most of the cases. In all honesty, in my opinion, they're 2 middle tiles, so just relying on drawing that. And as noted, as soon as people draw it, they tend to play safety around it. But again, that's not the point of a reach. Most of the point of the reach is to try and slow people's hands up while you draw the winning tile. And at this point, Prospero developed. He got to... he actually hit Tenpai with that. Oh, Ishanten with that. So... yeah, in last place, triplet the Reds. It's an understandable deal-in. But again, I guess the question is, how much value did you have versus your expected value with the reach? And early reaches are usually going to be lower value, but not definitely. It's still considered unknown value versus your hand, which is at best going to be red and no Dora. So, still... that happens. So we go into the South round. I've done nothing in the South round up to this point, and Yubas is able to sumo with this one. So let's just have a quick look at the hand and what the options were here. So 2 early calls, potential for Toy Toy. So yeah, makes sense. You've got Dragon for backup. I'm okay with this. And I assume at some point you're going to draw something to help out. So Yubas goes in also with the Tenpai here, waiting on the South only, so a little bit more awkward for them. Still, it's 2 calls and you have to assume Tenpai. The one thing that is obvious though, because of what you've called, the 1 terminal suit, the 1 middle suit, is that you must have some kind of bonus tile, or you must have something awkward, like an Itsu or something like that. It makes your hand easier to identify, and to me that makes it far less of a threat. If this was instead a 3-4-5, or a 2-3-4, that suggests Tanyo, and then waiting on the south as a stealth is a better option. Admittedly, south is going to be considered dangerous in the south round regardless. But Suanko from Mono attempted. And yeah, has the Tenpai here, so reach from Prospero. And again, he's in last place. He has Reach Pinthu with this. Yeah, Reach Pinthu Endora. And that's just an unfortunate sumo on the instant of South, and 1,000 points given away. 2 calls for South only, though, against 2 other calls. Could be considered aggressive, points-wise, but... But hey, things happen. Alright, so, moving on to South 2, which Ubers also picks up a sumo for. So, let's actually observe Ubers, actually. Get this proper. So, he turns in. So again, early calls have been made. I'm actually going to go back and analyze this a little bit here, because one of the things I consider a lot when I'm going for quick one-hand hands is it actually worth it for the calls? Because you consider a dragon call here, you're only getting 1,000 points for it unless you can guarantee you're getting this west at some stage. 1 out, it is your wind, but... I did discard a west early, but that normally is a suggestion that you're going to have far less chance of making it work. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot to build from here. And even after 2 calls, it's still quite a way away. If somebody were to have a big hand, so Dora, if somebody were to have a couple of wests and a hand that was worth 3 or 4 Dora, you'd be in a lot of trouble from a reach here, I think is the argument. Sometimes this aggression, though, is good enough to put other people off, and you are in the lead at the moment. But it feels like you're taking liberties with this lead. You're not that far ahead. And you're not in the need to close the game out just yet. But, again, it's fine. It's just now that somebody's calling with potentially a bigger hand. And that's a call for Tenpai, which is what you normally want to be doing here. And it's certainly what other people have done. So... what you've now got is a situation where all 3 of your opponents could have called for Tenpai at this stage. So, based on this, your calls look a little dodgy from now. Especially having to play a live 5-man against it. It's fine in this case, but still, you can see why this is dangerous. So I've had to change my weight up here because I have drawn a risky tile, and I am aware that I'm up against 3 people who have called likely for Tenpai. So this is why I'm out. Also, White is just live, so... yeah, me and Avarita are in exactly the same position here. Although he's in a better shape to try and be waiting on it. Ah, darn it. If there was... sorry, people need to tell me if there's a disconnect. Alright, so this is basically the fair... this is your only option, Tenpai, at this point. West Dragon and Hoping. Oh, that's a good lucky draw. So that's put into Tenpai again. So we have multiple Tenpais on the board. It's difficult for me to say that's a good move. Yeah, of course, no Yaku. Yeah. It's difficult for me to say that the Kana was a good move, unfortunately. You had a definite safe tile for discarding, and you assume this late in the game that if people are calling, they're calling for Tenpai. So one safe turn, staying in the west and hoping that somebody has to risk it later. Oh, you could have tried a Rinshan. That's actually a position where you want to probably Khan in this position. Gonna be honest, because that gives you a free draw to try and win the game with. And then the sumo. Also would have adjusted the draw order as well, but yeah. So I think there's a thing in gambling which does apply to this hand in a lot of ways. That if you are invested into a hand, and you clearly were, you'd called for Tenpai late in the game, you had the option of Carning, you probably want to try it. But equally, it's risky. Because you weren't using your 1 as a safe tile, but just to make sure. Again, no timing. You know, with people calling this late, you know people have got to be Tenpai. Unfortunately, I was completely zoning out Prospero, and I was also out from my own White Dragon, because as far as I was concerned, it was live. But, yeah. Something in DC. Yeah, people do have to tell me about that. Alright, South 3. So, South 3 was a repeat. So, this just went to an exhaustive draw. So, we'll have a quick skim. So, I had a really early reach here. A reach on a green dragon. And note where the green dragons are. One for you, one for you. So, basically, that nullified any chance of this going anywhere, really. And as it went on, yeah. So that was a call for a green dragon only, which might have been aggressive. But again, as long as you can play safe, and there's enough safe tiles against that.
Tenpai.
Yeah. Early reach, you have to assume they're on an awkward weight, and green was always going to be awkward with 1 in people's hands, and the fourth one never turned up. So, draw state. Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, even the early reach, it had to be on something awkward, and it was Dora, so no mistakes there. It was just a case of trying to work around it, and it not quite working. Right, so South 4. This is the one I was kind of interested in, because this I was able to sumo with a big hand Hanneman to win. So I just want to see what other people were up to with this. Yeah. So again, early call here. Now this is absolutely no problem with this early call. So your hand's not great, I'm going to be honest, from a calling perspective, Ubers. However, you are dealer, and any win will do. You have an easy path into Tanyo. You might draw a second east, which gives you a Yakuhai you can go into. Plenty of options with this. All your stuff is relatively connected. So, yeah. I have no objection with this call in this situation. You have enough of a gap that I need. As long as there's no direct deal in, I need a Hanneman sumo to actually beat you. And Hannemans are usually obvious and awkward. But your main objective here is try and win quickly. Try and win quickly, and don't deal into me. And keep a close eye on what I'm doing at all times. So from here, you know I'm not going for a typical Tarn Pin because of what I've discarded. Typical Tarn Pin discards will be similar to what you've actually discarded. Also, thing to be aware of Prospero, but again, you can deal into Prospero for quite a lot of points without it mattering. So, you know, I'm clearly focused 1, but being vaguely aware of the other 2 in case they're showing something massive. 4's a good draw. Moves on, and now I have the reach on turn 5. So, this is basically, from my perspective, is reach Pinfu Ipeiko. So, with Sumo, that's Mangan. And that's as good as I'm hoping to get here. I'm hoping for either the direct hit or for an Ipatsu, which I didn't get.
Riichi.
Counter reach. So, this is an interesting one here. So, from your perspective, you needed... Sorry, let me actually just move position, because that'll help me actually calculate the points here. So, you're 9-1 down. So, with 3 reach sticks on the board, you actually do only need Mangan to overtake me. So, Mangan is enough here. And you have reach Pinfu... South, actually no, reach Dora South. Sumo is enough. So as long as you sumo, you will win with this. However, it is only on a 1 west tile, which it's always a chance that somebody just happens to have that. I know it's not your wind, but you know, single tiles are not the best. That being said, I can understand they're going for it. But since you are the second, if you were the first reach, absolutely no problem with this. Because you're the second, might have been worth trying to improve that a bit more. But, sumo. Either way, you wouldn't have had the time. And, as I say, if you sumoed, it was Manga. And here I just lucked into Tutora. Well, that's my blitz analysis on this hand. There are probably more detailed things that I could go over if I was doing this slower. But, again, we have other games in progress. So... big question from here is, which of the games are we going to watch? Carol, are you suggesting I shouldn't be watching yours, or that I should? Because I can go into the Mono game, or I can go into the Chiral game. All right, let's roll the dice for this. So odds, we're going into the Prospero Lily game. Evens, we're going to this is Carlin Chiral game. And we roll a 10, so we're going into this. No worries, thanks for the games. Okay, so let's see how this is going then. Hellion is down on points. Urza, Chiral, and Siskamling in a fairly even battle for the win at this point. But Hellion is dealer. Unfortunately, his hand's not looking great for a comeback at the moment. And Chiral has already made a call looking for an outside hand, you would imagine. Alright, let me just fling my phone away. There we go. Right. You're way behind. I'm 5 minutes behind because the one thing that happens is you don't want people observing the game in progress, so I'm hopefully, observing the hand previous to you. Again, if this starts getting a little confusing in terms of me talking that's affecting your game, please mute me. But yeah, our analysis is going to be on this. So Chiral has gone all in on the bluff outside hand weight. It's not really a bluff outside hand weight at this point. He's got a reasonable chance of making it work. But he has 4 unrelated tiles at this point. So a little work to do. If somebody has, say, Dora South and is looking to attack that, well, maybe they will. Certainly the dealer has that. So, not the biggest fan of this call. However, it should start worrying Chiral, I think. Who now badly needs to start playing things. He's probably invested regardless, but an open outside chanter is not worth that many points. It's only worth 1,000. Yeah, Hellion's call is a little awkward, but again, it's putting some pressure on, which he probably needs to do. And there is always the chance he can backstore into Toy Toy, but he needs... Yeah, okay, that's a good draw. Needs some help and some work, though. Well, Chiral finally draws a pair, but now he's got to decide what he gets rid of. White. He won't get rid of Adora for anything less than guaranteed Tenpai and safety. Urza is also developing and also has that South decision to make at some point. Siskamling has the Reach first. So Reach Pinfu Dora. Goes for just Pinfu Dora. Which against 3 calls and an awkward hand, I absolutely get. Now Chiral plays South because he hits Tenpai for the hand he wants. But now he's up against that monster at the top. Which is South and 4. 1-7 already played. This is troublesome in a lot of ways. Alien does not play the South, the 7, which is correct for the moment. And Siskamling's still going to stay in Tenpai as much as they can. Oh, that's going to be unfortunate.
Long.
To be fair, it's going to be cheap, but it's unfortunate. Yeah, 3 calls for that seems very aggressive. But it did pay off. Still, I imagine he was bricking it at the door of 4 showing. Alright, well, we might as well follow the dealer here, so let's see. Yeah, I mean, you had enough Dora that you had to go for that. You know there's always a chance of that, but hey. Well, that late in the game, you have to assume that, really. But again, the gambler's philosophy here, you've committed that much, you have to go in. Yeah, exactly. Even if it is for 1,000 points. Or 1,300 points, sorry, I should be correct. Anyway, following Urza. And hoping for a Hellion comeback. So this is an okay hand from Urza. Hellion looking at, again, Yakulus, but a couple of Dora potentially. He's got a long way to force that to Toy Toy, but he's learned from Chiral, and that is clearly the plan here. Call like crazy, and everybody has to assume you're on something. He could also still Oh, okay. Until then, he could have gone for Honitsu as well as an option. But he's committed now to Toy Toy with only the one pair currently in hand. Still, not impossible that you could turn that around. There's Green Dragons you could get to backups. When you get Toy Toy, I love to have backup Yakuhai because really I'm considering I'm getting the Yakuhai Tenpai and just hoping that I can get Toy Toy on top. It's rarely a good idea to go for Toy Toy then, you know, hope. Still, it does happen. Anyway, Urza's still quite a way away. Since Scrambling's hand's looking interesting, but isn't fully there yet. Not far off, actually. Getting an 8 would put you into what? Well, reach Dora, unfortunately. But still, Tenpai. A bit of work to do. Hand is still a little awkward. Just let your dreams be dreams. Indeed. Magical Christmas Land is reality for some people occasionally. If you didn't make crazy plays for in the name of Magical Christmas Land, what do we play Mahjong for? Still, Green Dragon required, one left, which might be in the wall and stuck, but you never know. That at least is a much better looking Toy Toy position. And you never know, you might be able to at least be in Tenpai in a draw state. Okay, so Chitoy for Urza.
Riichi です
Reach 5-pin Chitoy. With no Pinsy tiles played other than 3, this is going to be a difficult one to pay off, unfortunately. Still, the threat is there, dealer reach. Who's going to respect it? Is anybody going to respect it? So Scarbling has a pretty good hand and a chance of going Chitoy herself, actually. Carol appears to be dodging. Nope, that was busted out. If you go below 0, you lose. So, or the game ends. We were, yeah. Basically, if somebody does go below 0, the game will end with them losing. With the way the current rules are set up. So, Northdorf, this I assume is going to draw. And it is a dealer only. 5-pin Chitoy. Gonna try playing that conceal, but I don't think that would have worked out either way with that. Still, draw state puts the game a little closer. Hellion with 4,400, and unfortunately we have knowledge of the future. But we'll see. Hopefully it's worth it. Hopefully it's worth it. We'll see. Tudora. Which is suggesting this hand is going to be worthy of a push here, but let's see. Carol's hand's a little awkward, although that helps it. Get rid of the honor to see what happens. Siskamling's hand looks pretty decent up top. And has Urza got a strong enough hand to counterattack? Possibly, in all honesty. So, I mean, you got to guess at 7 pairs, in all honesty, which, to be fair, you can get some clues about that. 5-sided wait for a 10. Go for it. There's always a good one. Even if it isn't. I mean, he picked up a draw. No gamble, no future. Yeah, Halien's about to bust out from your game. However, he's going to bust out on a Chitoy Tenpai, I think. So, Ishanten for Chitoy Doradora. So yeah, 9 over 6 is the is probably the error here, but again. If possible, for return Riichi to send a message. I mean, the message can sometimes be, ha 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 ha, please win so you don't see how embarrassing this is. But if it's a good for return Reach, why not? In truth. I mean, first end reach isn't ideal, but, you know, if you've got enough outs, it's still good. Because what the reach does is it tells everybody your tempo, which means they'll try to play around you, hopefully. Ooh. Oh, is it Ryan you're going to fail to get? We might have Ryan joining us. Interestingly, I think you can Ryan with 4 of a kind. Hold on, somebody's going to have to confirm that, but can you Ryan Peiko with a 4 of a kind? Admittedly, 2 pairs, but you know. I can't see why you wouldn't be able to.
Riichi.
Ah, and there we go. Riichi Batsu. You had safe tiles and ways around that because you could have backdoored into Pinfu. Yeah, that's what I mean. They're two sequences and the pair, so in theory that should allow it. But anyway, yeah, you could have backdoored this. You knew one was safe, and you have possible answers of going into Pinfu with this. I think you saw 7 pairs and decided definitely, but with I don't know, 1 door at this point. Yeah, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that there was possibly a way around that from a direct dealing, but hey. These things happen, and Kara picks up another win. Alright, let's go and observe Mono's madness then. I'm glad we observed the correct game. I'm just going to say that now. Because this meant we got each of them. Chitoy does, but Ryan Peiko is 2 separate 1-2-3 sequences. Hence why I was wondering about the 2 pairs of being the same, which would have allowed Ryan Peiko. Anyway, we should have hands revealed here. So Prospero has the current lead. Demo is in last place, and Lily... Yeah, Lily in striking distance, but start of South 1. Okay, mama. No. Okay, so Prospero looking at just getting to Tanya here, which is not a bad hand to be in Stealer. 1 away from that can call for it. Also has a potential upgrade path towards Toy Toy, though that's far less of a priority now somebody's called against you. And Demo has free Dora up top. So, yeah, that's a threat. Mono reaches. So here's a question. Could you call this, and do you want to? Again, probably not the safest thing in the world. You've got plenty of safe tiles against Mono in your hand at the moment. And yeah, as mentioned, that is a Furry 10 5-sided weight from Mono. Yep, that's what we wanted to know. So, that's all good. I mean, to be fair, Ryan's so rare that this would rarely come up, but yeah. Possibly. Not the ones we typically play, but yeah. Anyway, good to know if you ever get that ridiculously lucky. Yeah, you do you. So obviously, all the red tiles are safe, but the threat of reach is a real thing at this point. Middle of game reach, people have to worry about that. And Demo is just got a hand that is so shiny up top. And his Tempai for it. Admittingly, Yakula's Tempai, but... Ouch. The fated Sanzo of death. Unfortunately, none of them are coming out, because I don't see Prospero getting rid of his pair. Mono's not going to get rid of his. So, that is a effectively dead weight. Lily's playing around. Mono hasn't drawn a single Mansi tile since he started this 5-sided weight. And yeah.
脳天にゃ
5-sided weight for a 10 and still no, yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. 5-sided weight is still worth it in that position. Just really unlucky you didn't draw anything. Well, actually, I say you're unlucky. Let's think about that. So there's 36 different types of tiles. You need 5 of them. So basically, you're at what, a dice roll for each draw. In terms of flat probability, a dice roll in each draw to finish. So 7 or 8 draws, not rolling any 6s, is possible. But it was a good enough weight to go for one for a 10. That's what we mean by for a 10 not being a bad thing. And it did its job. It basically prevented Lily from attacking. It didn't prevent Demo from attacking because he had all Fedora, but again, his weights were tied up. Anyway, Lily has obvious Honitsu is obvious. So let's see how this one flows. Yeah, no dragons played yet. Always that possibility. However unlikely it might actually be. Mono's hand, though, seems decent, in all honesty, for a quick attack. A couple of loose tiles. Potential for a second Yaku High.
あ、それポン
But yeah, Lily, Dealer, Tudora, and a Honitsu. Ideal Mungan if you can pull it off. And with Khan available now, that is pretty good. She also can take a free pin as well and just take that. Haku and Dora 2. Prospero with a favorite non-Yaku. So it's not to go with that. Is this deciding to commit to the possible Honitsu here? I'd probably have been okay with a 2-4-6 at that point and just cut the East. It is the South round, so East should be relatively safe. But I guess Honitsu's not a bad thing to be going for here. But again, you got White and Dora 2. You don't need to be necessarily tied to that. Pinfu a bad bet. Ah, yeah, I see. Pinfu, but you have to reach. Yeah, see how much stronger this would be if you had the 6 in your hand as well? Yeah, exactly. Pinfu, but you have to reach. Most of the time you probably will reach if you've just got Pinfu, but... Tudora. Oh, yeah. Prospero, reaching Tudora is absolutely fine here. And if he does draw the third south, he does have ways of just making that 3-6 into his actual weight, although a little awkward. Have to cut one of the 6-7 sequences.
パン
Well, Lily is Ishanten. Tunnel visioning. Yep. So Mono with the 3-sided irregular tempo. Poof. Hello, Rise. How are we doing? Mono, it's not a good idea. It's still not a good idea. I mean, surely at this point you just play 7 and hope to change to a weight that isn't Honitsu, obviously, but... Oh boy. That was not a good idea. You had a much better weight previously, but... What you have done now is given Demo a ridiculous hand. I mean, to be fair, you've given all 3 players a ridiculous hand now, so I suppose you've evened that out. Okay, Tenpai. Kanri. No, I can't Kanri, unfortunately, but still. You have it. 3-6 pin is fine if you can make it pass, and you should be able to make a 7. Well, 4, so it passed. So Tenpai is you. Demo takes his Tanyo. And Mono Sumos. With his single tile remaining. Oh, the sequencing for 3,200. All the hands were bigger than that, so yeah, everybody in the right to attack it. Mono sneaks a win. Well, we haven't really been doing a good job of holding the dealer, but hey. So Demo needs a lot of points for a comeback here, but if anybody can pull off a comeback from nowhere, it is Demo. So let's see if he manages it. Just looking at this, it looks like just on the face of it, the Prospero's got the best starting hand of the other 3 players. But Demo has a quick tan attack for Tan Pin, so... Yep, further speed boost for Prospero, who is Ishanten at this point. Ishanten with a possible Itsu, maybe? Who knows? He doesn't have a pair. Actually, now he's got a pair. Yeah. So, Pinfu. From the lead. I mean, there's a yes and a no here. Early Riichi is definitely a threat. It's a 3-6, though, so it's unlikely to come off unless, you know, things... I might have been tempted to keep that concealed. Given his point lead, I might have been tempted. It probably is still absolutely correct for him to reach, but temptation there, certainly. As it happens, the 3s and 6s are pretty locked in people's hands here. There's still one of each you can draw, but... But just looking at Lily's hand, if the reach wasn't there, you can definitely see her playing that 6 if things come to fruition down the lower end. Without any threat to reach here. Anyway, Demo has to reach, he's the dealer, so let's see. Pair weight 6-3. So we do have a potential Atana Hane coming up. Everybody's favorite rule. Triple 3. So that makes that 6 unlikely come from Lily. Yeah, especially now. Okay, so it's now who's got the free man. And in fact, it's only coming up. Yeah, so both of these are actually deadlocked, I think. And both of them, the other players, kind of working around it at the moment. It's possible Lily could hit Tenpai, but actually, this late in the game, she probably wouldn't. Not entirely sure what that is, so no. Demo just for lols, discarding a full set of Dora Souths at the end of the game. Still, Demo gets for Tenpai, gets the repeat. And 2,000 bonus points on offer. I mean, the game is still at a 30k range, really. Let's shut that off. So, if Demo can just hit Prospero for about 6,000 points, which is not impossible, then that puts the threat of a West round into play, which gives him potentially a couple of hands to come back from, even if he doesn't get this. Still. This is a strong start, actually. Ishanten already, with one Dora and Carnage potential. So 3, 6, 5, 8 for Tenpai. I mean, Shanten's just another crutch you don't particularly need. You should be kind of aware of what's going on with that anyway, but... Okay, opening up the possibility for additional pairs. Yeah, he's Ishanten, actually, yeah. And at this point, Tanya, well, pin through 1 or just reach 1 is absolutely fine from demo, but he needs to hit it kind of now. If he draws another pair, he has a potential upgrade path into Sunanko, but that takes him back a couple of steps. And it's not... Oh, that's unfortunate. Not especially what he wants. Just seeing where the threats currently are. Prospero's hand's developing quite quickly, and Mono has Dora himself. So he's unlikely to fold this. Dora-san for Mono. And is Ishanten. Yeah, Prospero is looking okay up top. So he has a few options here. We can also just call again for Toy Toy. But there is the reach, so reach on the 1-4. Again, looks mostly sorted at this point. Not entirely impossible. One of each still remaining. But unfortunately for Demo, he just has not been able to develop his hand from this point. Well, there we go. Reach it is. 5-8. Not a lot of those left, but safe tiles to the reach. So the first reach. Anything really going for it. And what are you going to do? What else are you going to do in this position? You have to stay in Tenpai, so... Oof. Well, I mean, that helps the West game aspect of it as a backup plan. Not quite enough to force it in one go, but a cheap sumo from anybody now forces a West round. Well, assuming Mono doesn't just win in his dealer turn. Anyway, second Honba, South 3. Gap to the lead is dealer Mungam. So, Demo back in the game. This is what I mean. You can't... Unfortunately, Demo's too good. You can't count him out. 2000, that was Demo's anyway. Yeah, true enough. But, you know. Alright. 2 from Tenpai from Demo. A few additional options here. So, looking most likely going to be Pinfu of some kind. Not impossible that Reach Pinfu goes into Mangan. This is very true. He did. Based on my observed reasons, a ridiculously jammy amount of luck, but actually, all credit to Demo here. If he has a sniff of a win, he normally can find a way to try and force it to happen. He is very much a threat at the table. But mind you, so are Mono and Lily. Although Mono has a tendency to do some silly things at times. And is currently sitting Ishanten at the moment as well. I mean, Mono only needs a short win here and he's in the pound seat for victory ultimately. Not ideal, because it's going to likely put him into a pair weight, but, I mean, as dealer, you'd take that. I mean, he sees memes and must go for meme. Which, you know, works occasionally. Well, actually, to be fair, he's got worse, I think, since the season he won, because what he used to do was sort of go meme for about 3 turns, and then go back into a sensible hand, because he had a bunch of safe tiles he could work with. At which point he could use his superior hand building to just get there. So, Ishanten for Demo. Dora 2. So that might just hit the Mongan overtake at the moment. So 4-7 in either suit. Mono stuck at Ishan 10. Lily not doing a lot.
Riichi.
All right, Riichi, Pinfu, Dora Dora. This is for Gyak 10, which he does usually. He just likes to play into that a lot. The 4-7, as I said, is looking largely in trouble, but I think that's pretty much killed it. Still, he will absolutely take a tempo at this point. I mean, there are very, very few hands where you will consider what you have and go, yeah, right, we're going for a Yakuman. And most of those are pretty much where they're almost always exactly there. We're talking the Orphans with an 11 start. We're talking the two triplets and a dragon sort of starts. We're talking the multiple triplet start. Or we're talking the entire hand of Pinzu tiles with triplets of 1s and 9s. True, but if it puts enough pressure on people, it's just a case of Lily's out, as we know. Mono has just hit Tenpai here, waiting on the 7-4, but again, they look a little out as well. There's a 4 there. No, actually, there isn't. Yeah, Lily's not going to fold that 4 from that position, so... And that's all of them. So, just going to be a draw state here unless Prospero does something here. No. Correctly gets rid of his free pin. Well, there we are. Okay, West round potentially unlocked. Demo Freehan required to take the lead at this point. And dare I say it, possibly Itsu. Probably not actually, in fairness, but you know. Honitsu, very possible though. Especially if he pairs up the red very early. Yeah, this is a good game. And I always enjoy watching a comeback, even if they fail. Alright, so Prospero pretty much needs a win at this point. Mono pretty much needs a win to just give him the chance. Mono needs 2 quick wins. That's all Mono has to do to take this game. Prospero needs 2 quick wins. Lily needs a bit more work, and that is a Riichi Chitoy on turn 3 on a terminal. Unfortunately, one that Prospero has a pair of in hand. They do that occasionally. Yeah, it's just the way the 2 interfaces work. For whatever reason, Streamlabs is more invested than YouTube's own chat engine. So, yeah. So, last 1 pin to go. Demo has to go for it, really. Question is, does he go for the hot Chinitsu Honitsu now? And I think he's kind of thinking about it and going for it. Power Chitoy. Well, we'll see. I mean, if Demo draws the 1, so Demo probably has to play it. Pair of reds. So that's Honitsu. Okay, honours away. Does Prospero fold with the 8 against what the dealer's showing? He does. Well, Prospero's managed to backdoor himself into a potential Chitoi.
ち
Alright, 4-7. There's a few of those left, but, Oh, Prospero deals in.
ラン
Ah. Yeah, I feel that. 32, though, is with all of that. Yeah, no, I can understand the consideration with that one. I thought, though, he was invested into the Chitoi side of things, but obviously he found a quicker route, which, in fairness, it probably was. All right, so, Mono, to wrap the game up. Any win will do. This is not a great hand with that mindset, though, unfortunately. But we'll see. We'll see. It's a possibility that he can force a Chanter, which would do. Then again, your only pair here is a good option here, but obviously the consideration has to be made, but it is his only pair. So, Lily needs a big hand. Prospero needs Mangan Sumo to overtake, and to be fair, he's got the tools to do that. Although open, I don't think he does anymore with no Dora. Nah, he's not. He's going for Chanter because he needs any hand to do it. So this is not a cock sheet. Mono will meme a lot of hands here, and to be fair, it probably would have crossed his mind from the initial thing that was his best course of action, but he's looking at this as Chanter. Because his case is any hand will do. If he keeps drawing terminals, he's going to consider it more, but you know. Much as he jokes, he knows this is, you know. He's also getting rid of all of his dangerous tiles early, which is part of what makes Mono's Kokoshi apparent attempt so good in reality here. Because all of these are risky tiles late game that he's just discarded, with the possible exception of the 8. Now, though, look at his hand, and if anything happens, he's got so many routes to bail out. Because also, this is the other consideration here, if somebody else wins, they have to win with a Mungan Plus in order to challenge it. And of course, he's going to bluff he's got the Kokoshi, because he likes to meme. He might even consider it, but you know. Now he knows he's got a Sozu Honitsu to worry about. That 8-so is not coming out. But options are there. And in the back of everybody else's mind, is he? And do I need to worry about this? But yeah, Mono's playing very sensibly here. It may not look like it, but he is. He'd probably cut the 1 pin here, in all honesty. Okay, I am honestly genuinely surprised he played the 8-so there. But he's decided to bluff. The problem is, I think now, is that could genuinely be a Tanyo Chitoi, which is Hanneman. And if he sumos it, that is enough to overhaul. No, he's going big now. But I feel that he's given Prospero too much, I think, with that 8-so cut. He could have cut the 1 pin and started bluffing, he had it. And I think that would have been the better play. Because, I mean, even if he's going for the silly hand and things develop, that's the thing that's going to be from there. Also, I'm just trying to check, is it actually dead? West... Yeah, it's dead already. You can see 4 Wests on the board. Everybody knows it's dead. Or everybody paying attention should be aware it's dead. I'm wondering if Mono's realised it's dead. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Prospero is Tenpai. Honitsu... No Dora. He's got Tempai. But the only way, yeah. He could have taken it, but that would have been... He's still Tempai, of course. But, you know, he doesn't have Hanneman with the greens. And he doesn't have a lot of draws to make it that either. You'd have to draw 3 Sozu in a row to manage it now. Or hope that Mono plays the 1-so. Which would be a deal in, but, you know, not enough to... Actually, no, not enough to manage it. It would give him second place, though. Alright, call for Tempai. Tanya 1, unfortunately, is all Lily can manage, but that might, if it comes from Prospero, be enough to take second. Demo Sumos. I hadn't really been looking at Demo all game, but actually that 4,000 sumo might be enough, I think. Not quite. Third place. Close, but not quite there. Well, GG, Mono takes the win. Oh, dear. Well, that was a fun set of games. 1-so wouldn't count. 4-so would for all green, indeed. Well, thanks for the games. I am going to end the stream there. As mentioned, I'm probably not going to be around for next Friday's event, largely because I'm driving back down to Kent on that day. But we'll see how things go. Look forward. I might end up doing something on a different day. We shall see. But yeah, thanks for the games. I will finally get around to updating the dance score sheet at some stage. Until then, so long.